Yodel. At the edge of Miller County, past the church in Maple Road, stood a barn with iron hinges where the summer weeds had grown. 40 winters crossed its rooftop, 40 springs went rolling by. Nobody had turned that handle, nobody could tell you why. Grandpa said, don't chase the stories. Mama laughed and shook her head, but every child who passed that doorway heard what old folks never said. Some said gold was in the rafters, some said whiskey filled the floor, some believed in outlaw buried something underneath the door. Others swore on windy evenings they could hear a fiddle play, one long note behind the timber, then a yodel fade away. Nobody crossed that broken fence line, nobody climbed the weathered wall. Still the barn stood through the seasons, keeping secrets from us all. Then one morning down the highway came an old blue Chevrolet, and a man stepped out holding one small key from yesterday. Open up that 40-year-old barn, let the daylight find what's gone. Let the dust rise, let the door swing, let the old forgotten sing. Yodelay, yodelay, oh, every secret has a sound. Open up that 40-year-old barn and let the past come rolling out. Yodelay, yodelay. Rust fell loose around the padlock, wood complained beneath the strain. When that door moved for the first time, sunlight crossed the floor again. No buried gold beneath the hayloft, no outlaw treasure in a chest, only chairs around a platform and old instruments at rest. There were photographs of neighbors, young enough to barely know, standing there with guitars smiling, 40 summers long ago. Then he reached behind the piano, where a little box remained on its side in faded writing. Play this when we meet again. Yodelay. He turned the reel and heard a heartbeat crackle through an aging wire. Then a fiddle filled the building like somebody struck a fire. Voices followed, boots were stomping, someone laughed before the song. Then an old familiar yodel filled the barn where it belonged. People gathered by the doorway, old men wiped their eyes and smiled. Women recognized their fathers, standing there when they were wild. And every story told for 40 years suddenly became too small. The mystery wasn't what they'd hidden, it was why we'd lost it all. Open up that 40-year-old barn, let the old sons carry on. Let the banjo, let the fiddle wake the fields from end to end. Hear the valley answer back. Open up that 40-year-old barn and bring the whole old town right isn't hiding something bad. Maybe some are only guarding the best days that we had. Maybe memory needs a doorway, maybe songs need room to breathe. Maybe what we call a mystery is something we forgot to keep. Yodel-a-lady, 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 yodel-a-lady. Open up that 40-year-old barn, let the whole town sing along. Bring the guitars, bring the children, bring the ones who still remember. Yodel-a-lady, let it roll from hill to hill. 40 years could lock the doorway, but the music faded still. Open up that 40-year-old barn, let the old floor shake again. Let the banjo, let the fiddle call the whole white county in. Yodel-a-lady, yodel-a-lady, oh. Every mountain knows a tune. Some things wait for 40 years just to come alive again. Yodel-a-lady, 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 hey, hey, yodel-a-lady, 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 yodel-a-lady. One old barn, one old song, 40 years, still singing on. Yodel-a-lady.